Errol Spence beats Yordenis Ugas to add the WBA belt to his collection, and he retains his IBF and WBC belt. And man, that was... I said that Spence would stop Ugas in the later rounds, but that was a beating that even I didn't think Spence would put on him. Man, Spence, like he says, man down, strap season, all of that. He is an absolute machine in there, and a brilliant fight. He's always been involved in brilliant fights, Spence. He's very rare. Maybe the Mikey Garcia fight. Other than that, all of his fights are pretty entertaining, and he is, I said it a while back, my favourite fighter in boxing. Fights like this is the reason why this guy just does not stop. I don't know how many punches he threw per round. Maybe I should look for it, because honestly, I think the worst thing that Ugas could have done, I think it was the 6th round when he got knocked down, but got hurt, Spence. And obviously the reason for that was because Spence, his mouthpiece fell out, and I think he said in the interview that the referee, he thought the referee said stop and he didn't, and that's why he almost got yeeted through the ropes. But I tell you what, he really showed his heart in there, because he got hurt and he came right back in that round. I had the fight up until the stoppage. I had virtually, I think it was every round to Spence bar the 6th and the 1st. Other than that, and the first, pretty even, you could give it to Spence, but it was a bit of a chess battle. And then in the 6th round, obviously that's when Ugas hurt, and you have to give it to him. Spence obviously should be, like they always say, potato sauce all the time, but that might have been the worst thing that Ugas did, because Spence just came out there and he just beat the fire out of him. It was a brilliant performance from Errol Spence. And yeah, he's collecting them belts, and he did call out Terence Crawford next. Now people can stop coming out with this whole narrative that Spence was ducking Crawford. He was never ducking Crawford. Nobody ducks anybody in the sport of boxing. Nobody's afraid of anybody. It is just politics. Crawford was on top rank. He's now a free agent, and I think now this fight should get made. I don't see reason why it doesn't. They haven't got anyone else to fight, and I said it a while ago, they need to fight each other before Jaron Ennis comes into the picture, because then it's a whole different thing. But that fight, they're at their prime now. It has to happen. Floyd Manning didn't happen when it should have. So many other fights didn't happen. Even not it entirely Lewis's fault, but Lewis and Tyson never happened when it should have. This is happening now at the right, or this should happen now at the right moment. The best fight in boxing, bar none for me. I don't think there's any fight that comes close to it. Brilliant fight, but yeah. But I got to talk more about Spence. Spence's volume throughout this whole fight was absolutely ridiculous, and he started off quite back and forth. I think to me, Ugas, he was looking a lot for the counter, and I think he was almost looking for the perfect counter. And that's still the issue with counter punches, is that sometimes they just take too long. And to me, I just think with Ugas against Pacquiao, it kind of works, because Pacquiao will come forward and he's quick, he's aggressive. But Spencer's in a 42-year-old Pacquiao. He's in his prime, and he's someone who will just constantly just keep coming forward. And honestly, so it has here. So Spence, first we'll go to the total punches. So Spence threw 784 punches and landed 216. Ugas threw 541, only landed 96. So that shows you. And 24 of 308 jab landed for Spence. 19 of 262 landed for Ugas. So again, Spence just about edging it with the power, but it was round 8, I think, when Spence just completely just took over. He landed 46 punches to Ugas's 10 in that round. Altogether, like I said, 216. Majority into the body, and it was probably Spence's best performance of his career, to be honest. I know he got rocked, but that wasn't because of his poor defense. I mean, it was not smart on his part, and that's one thing he could not do against Terence Crawford if he fights. He has to stay switched on. You cannot be making them mistakes against Bud. But regardless, just a momentary lapse in concentration for Spence, which, like I said, it seemed like he took that personally, because as soon as he got rocked, he came out there and he put it on Ugas, and he hurt Ugas a few times. Ugas, I give him credit, he never quit, never gave up, never went down. He was just staying up there and really just never, could have took, and he could have done a lot of things. He was looking a lot like how Kell Brook looked a little bit in the in Spence's fight against Brook, where Brook's eye was looking. Actually, Ugas' eye is probably worse than how Brook's looked. Remember, Brook always had the whole demons of the Golovkin fight, and that's why that went that way. But Ugas, man, he could have took a knee, but he didn't. He stayed in there, kept coming, and credit to him, a warrior. And, at his age, you got nothing to complain about. I did say I felt like, what was his attitude? Was he going to take for the payday, or was he going to really come in there to win him? In the weigh-ins, he had a look in his eyes where he really looked like he was up for this. So, I don't think Ugas has anything to be ashamed of. He did good to a point, but I just think against Spence, I think he's just a level above. And Spence's nutritionist really helped him, because he did not let Ugas rest at any second in that fight. He kept on him and on him, and his volume, the pace that he just keeps, it is ridiculous. And this is why I think he, like I said, I think buzzed it, and maybe Ennis had the only ones who beat him. He runs through, I think, everybody at 147, and he virtually has. Only man he hasn't fought, take away Crawford, in terms of the sort of bigger names, when he was coming up, and now is Keith Thurman. Obviously, Crawford is the one we want, but if you look at maybe the takeaway that, because that's the mega fight, take that out. Keith Thurman is the only one he hasn't beat. He's beaten everybody, so an unbelievable fighter, and a great resume now. Sean Porter, Kell Brook, Danny Garcia, and now Ugas, and was able to stop Brook to an extent, stopped Ugas, knocked down Sean Porter, and came out and fought Danny Garcia after he was in a life-threatening car crash. And he did all this, Spence, in this fight after the eye injury. Guy is just a different breed. Him and Crawford, because Spence is my guy, I'm probably going to pick Spence, but you pick Crawford, I won't say you're an idiot. He's probably, Crawford is elite, but a great fight, though. Regardless of who wins that fight, I think it's going to be amazing. Crawford, amazing. One of the best of his generation. Switch here, and Spence, a man who is just, regardless what happens, just keeps coming forward, has amazing volume. Going to be a great fight, and I do look forward to it. I think in the fight, if Spence fights like it's tonight, because I do think the way to beat Crawford is just to do a little bit what Teofimo did to Lomachenko, but not in the same way. I think just staying on him, and I think, it'll be an incredible fight. But just my review of Spence Ugas, a brilliant fight. Spence has now 3 belts at 147, just has one more to collect, and if he does that, I wonder where you rank him. Floyd's obviously the goal at welterweight, but where do you rank him if he does beat Crawford? Because I think he's got to be top 3 at least. Maybe I'm going a bit more, but you got Sugar Land still in there, got Pacquiao, but he's in the top 10, 100% if he beats Crawford. And if Crawford can beat Spence, he just adds to his amazing legacy what he's already got. But great fight, Spence Ugas, and until next time.